Yes,
I think there's a mic issue really quick, so I just want to make sure.
I'll
that
talk
everyone-
loud.
Okay, I want to check it.
Okay. Good evening. I'm Attorney Ben Crump, and along with great lawyers, Attorney Camila Moore, Attorney Thurgood Wynn, who work with my office, and the great lawyers at Andrews and Thornton, and Attorney Kim DeGonia, we have the honor of announcing that we filed a wrongful death lawsuit on behalf of the family of Evelyn McClendon. Present with us is her brother, Zaire Calvin, who has been like a spokesperson for the community, talking about the devastation and everything that was lost to his family and this community. We don't take it lightly, this responsibility of making sure that this black angel, Evelyn McClendon, gets full justice and accountability. We don't want anybody to marginalize her. We don't want them to try to shortchange her. We want them to know that her life mattered, and we will fight to make sure she gets everything allowed by the law to say that her death will not be in vain. It will not be in vain. It will be a testimony for the perseverance and the resilience of the Altadena community. So often, when you have tragedies like this, marginalized communities of color are often secondary. They're swept under the rug. More affluent communities are given far more attention. And then after a few days, people seem to forget about the black community as if it wasn't that important. Well, it's important to us, and it's important to our legacy and our future, because what Altadena represented for most hardworking black people in that community was generational wealth. Many times, that was all we had to leave our children. We had the houses and the land, and there's value in the land. We didn't have stocks and bonds to leave our children. We didn't have companies and corporations, but we had the homes that we worked tirelessly to be able to purchase by the brow of our forehead and the sweat equity. We got those homes. Many, like Zaire's mother, who had been living in the house for 50 years. Can you imagine how much equity had built up in those 50 years for this black family to bestow to the next generation, for our children to start off with something in life, to say, we got an asset. Our mothers and fathers loved us enough that they worked hard to be able to give us something to start with in life. And that has all been taken away tragically. And we believe that Edison International, the Southern California Energy Company, was a proximate cause of the loss that Zaire and his family lost, not only in their property, but most importantly, this precious life. We'll be able to rebuild again, and we will rebuild again. But she's gone forever. She's gone forever. So we filed this wrongful death lawsuit in LA Superior Court based on negligence and violation of some of the California codes that are all enumerated in our complaint. But in layman's terms, it was negligence. And Attorney DeGora will talk in detail a little more about the legal technicalities, but it was negligence. On January 3rd, they had alerts telling them that they needed to de-energize the power. They had 100-mile winds. Our client died on January 7th, 4 days after they should have turned off the energy. And then in that time they had, how many, Kim? 50 faults?
50 faults.
50 faults telling them to turn off the energy. That is what the law is telling them to do. When it's foreseeable that this tragedy is on the horizon, you don't wait till the transformer blows up and catches on fire. It's too late to turn off the energy then. It's too late for Zaire and his son to struggle and miraculously get his mother who can't walk to be able to lift her up and get her in the car. And tragically, Evelyn didn't make it out in time. He thought that Evelyn had made it out. They were concentrating on his 80-year-old mother. And it's always it's human nature to blame yourself, but I have told Zaire he's a hero in all of this. And he's a hero in all of this. And I know your sister considers you a hero as well, Zaire. And so at this time, you're going to hear from our great co-counsel, Attorney Kim DeGonia, and she's going to talk about the lawsuit we filed today, this wrongful death lawsuit. And then you will hear from Zaire, and he will make statements not only about what happened, but how special his sister was. So much about her was so unique and special that has been lost to his family in this community. And then we will have the great organizers like Ashley, who helped organize this young activist, put this together. Yes. And I think she needs a round of applause. This is her community. And we have Najee and Senate, the great work of the National Urban League, NAACP, everybody coming together to say, we won't let the story end in tragedy. Even though it was tragedy, we're going to transform this into triumph, because Altadena will be a testimony, not just for Los Angeles, not just for California, but everywhere across America of how we rebuild. Altadena strong.
Yeah! Yeah!
Thank you. So as Mr. Crump explained, truly just a few hours before we met here tonight, we filed our complaint in Los Angeles Superior Court. This was completely preventable and foreseeable. This preventability and foreseeability began on January 3rd, as Mr. Crump said, 4 days before Evelyn was taken from us. And the foreseeability began very simply with the warnings that we were having 100-mile-an-hour winds, that there was danger on the horizon, that there was a red alert, the highest alert you can receive from the National Weather Forecast. And Altadena did nothing. They did not de-energize their power grid. They did nothing to turn off the power, knowing that this was the state that this great county was going to find themselves in. The winds begin, fires across the rest of the county begin, and still, no power is shut off here. There are no power grids being turned off. They have an internal system. That internal system is called the Whisker Labs. That Whisker Labs starts alerting, flagging the Edison company, hey, there's some danger on the horizon. Not once, not twice, not 5 times, ladies and gentlemen, 50 times for just Altadena alone. And that didn't include the 100 of flags that was going off all across the county, warning them, turn off the power grid, de-energize, danger ahead. Then, not only do we have the warnings from the national forecast, not only do we have the internal flags being given to Southern California Edison, we have members of this community, residents, calling in saying, hey, this power line is down, it's sparking, it's arching, it's touching vegetation, it's gonna start a fire. Call after call, nothing. No de-energizing, no turning off the power. And then it happens. The fire comes here. The fire comes here to this hometown. And within 1 hour, it sparks and takes 200 acres, including Evelyn and her family's home. And this is, like Mr. Crump said, 4 days after the first warning. Don't tell me that's not foreseeable. Don't tell me that's not negligence. Don't tell me that Evelyn's death couldn't have been prevented. So we're here to announce that we have filed this lawsuit just a few hours ago, as Mr. Crump said, in Los Angeles Superior Court, because we are here to seek justice for Evelyn.
Amen. Thank you so much, Attorney Begonia. Before we hear from Zaire, I'm blessed to have, as a great lawyer at my law firm, an attorney whose family lives here in Altadena, who is a staple in the community. She is one of our brightest young lawyers in this city and the country. Attorney Camila Moore was head of the Reparations Task Force for the state of California because she believes that education needs to be used to make a difference in the communities from which you come. And so before you hear from Mr. Zaire, we get to your questions and we start the town hall following the press conference, I thought it very important to hear from Attorney Camila Moore, this native daughter of Altadena.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'll be brief because I know a lot of folks have questions, and we also want to hear from Zaire. My name is Camila Moore, and I'm an attorney at Ben Crump Law Firm. I'm also from Altadena, went to Pasadena High School. My parents are currently displaced. Fortunately, their home was safe. They lived right by Altadena Elementary. Their home was spared, but the entire neighborhood is completely destroyed. And so while, I can say that, our home is safe, what happened just this past week is an incredible loss for everyone in Altadena. And I just want you all to know, everyone who is in this room, I'm so elated to see a packed house and to see over 200 people on the Zoom call right now. Just want you all to know that we will be fighting for you. We're not only fighting for Zaire's family, we're fighting for all families in Altadena, for property loss, emotional distress, wrongful death, any and all harms and personal injuries related to this fire, whether you lost your home or not. We are fighting for you, and you'll be getting more information soon after. No breaks after this press conference. We're going straight into the town hall organized by this amazing, incredible community leader, Ashley. So without further ado, thank you all for your time. We're here fighting for you, and we'll take it from here.
Thank you. And you all please understand that Zaire Calvin didn't ask for this, but he is doing his very best to speak for his sister, for his family, and the community. He's not one of the lawyers or anything. He's speaking directly from the heart. So please keep him in prayer long after the cameras are gone, him and his family. Mr. Zaire Calvin.
Hello, everyone. I'm Zaire Calvin.
This is hard, rough, for my community, everything that's been going on. I just want to say that, we're gonna get through this. My sister, which is Evelyn, she's just a wonderful person who never harmed, never got in trouble, never did anything wrong, never broke the law, went to college, graduated from Loyola Marymount. Was in corporate America. That time was rough for her, or whatever, which, made her kind of become reclusive and didn't want to be around. The main part that she would want me to say is that she was a Christ, God-fearing woman.
Amen. Amen.
And I used to hear her every day talking about conspiracies and God and how what's coming back and the days of judgment and different things about just life. She's just someone who never hurt anyone, never had anything bad. She just never did anything bad. How someone go through life and never break a law? I remember the only time she ever got pulled over, it was a big deal to her, just getting pulled over by the Altadena sheriff when she was up there visiting one time, and she could not believe it, and it just had her distraught off of something that small. Well, I got pulled over every day. For my sister, Evelyn was named after my mother, who has been in the community and has helped in the community and for years, and it's a 3-generational name, Evelyn, Evelyn, and Evelyn. My mother was Evelyn Catherell, Yates Catherell, and then my grandmother was Evelyn Gratz. My grandmother started Head Start in the city of Los Angeles. My grandmother actually changed the whole education system for all of Los Angeles County. Coincidentally, Evelyn became a bus driver for the PUSD. That was her part in that tale. My family has been here for generations and has always been into community service and giving back to the community. And for my sister to die like that and there's other people in our community all throughout Altadena, I know because I talked to the forensic people. So there's like 30 other people. So for yours that you don't even know yet, that's who I'm talking to. It's not just about my sister, it's about everyone who's gonna discover that they lost someone because they're missing or they haven't seen them. And a lot of these are all people who died. It's not just African and black people, African Americans and black people who died. It's all of us. And these are a lot of older people who they've already announced that have died, who have been there for generations. And our generation for all of this stuff is what I'm talking about. It took a long time. I looked over the fence when I was a little kid and said, I'm gonna buy the house next door. And I bought the house next door.
It's okay, Zaire.
Yeah, give Zaire. Thank you, Zaire, for pouring your heart out and telling us a little bit about your sister. I was struck when you talked about the name, giving her the name that her grandmother has. It's so special in the fact that her grandmother names were on 3 schools throughout Los Angeles. And the fact that she ended up working in the school system. She was an angel. She was solid earth. She was a school bus driver, and she was beloved by the children on her bus. She was beloved by her family and her community. And you can't replace angels like that. All you can do is try to exalt them and make sure that their legacy is not forgotten. And so with the work we're doing in the community and with the lawsuit, we're going to make sure that there's justice and accountability for the legacy of Evelyn McClendon. Say her name. Evelyn McClendon. Say her name.
Evelyn McClendon.
Say her name.
Evelyn McClendon.
Thank you. At this time, we'll take your questions if you have any from the press.
Sir, if there are other victims, well, I know we spoke with Coach the other day, and we've spoken with some others, and if they would like to be part of this lawsuit, what should we tell them? I mean, how best to contact you, or if you want to come later?
Certainly. We're here, boots on the ground in the Altadena community, working and talking with families. We represent over 12 families who lost property, and the number, there's an 800 number, it's on the flyer there if you hand it to me. They can call, or they can, because it's desperate times. People are in despair. They don't know what to do, and they don't know how to negotiate with insurance companies and make claims. So we have a call center ready to assist people. That number is 833-497-3473. That's 833-497-FIRE, F-I-R-E. And understand it's gonna be a tedious process dealing with insurance companies on property losses. They are gonna put you through all kind of rigmarole to say, well, when did you purchase whatever item you're claiming that you lost? Do you have credit card receipts? What credit card did you purchase it with? All of this stuff that seems so unnecessary when you're dealing with such loss. But we're here to help. We have a call center with over 20 paralegals waiting to assist families, and we have a team of 20 lawyers, over 20 lawyers, waiting to assist with filing lawsuits and complaints to make sure not only the energy company, but everybody who is in any way responsible for this loss, this tragedy, that they will be held accountable. That is the very least we can give to those who lost so much, accountability. Hopefully that answered your question, ma'am. Any other questions? I do know we got the town hall meeting, and so a lot of the community has questions too, and we're gonna get to them. And people online, can they ask questions as well, Ashley? And I see we are almost at over 300, I guess. Yes.
Thank you, Attorney Ben Crump, for being here. My name is Alan Shea. I'm with Our Society TV, and I have a question regarding the exposure with the electric lines that's running from pole to pole, and I think that was a contributing factor versus the underground that the city of Pasadena started to do but didn't do. Are both of those have any real exposure?
Well, Alan, we talked earlier in the press conference about why we feel the energy company is negligent and certainly responsible in the wrongful death of Evelyn McClendon. But we have experts that we've retained that are looking at every aspect of negligence. That's the layman's term of negligence. They either didn't do something they should have did or did something they shouldn't have done. Very simple. My 12-year-old daughter, Brooklyn, can understand that. And we believe that they should have de-energized the power on January 7th when they got the warning.
And we're-
100-mile winds. Go ahead.
And we're
Patricia.
still in the early stages of investigation, and we will hold any defendant accountable who we discover has played a part in this negligence, if that answers your question.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Are there any further questions from the media? If not, yes, ma'am, if not, we know a lot of citizens are here who are victims, and we want to make sure we give you all the time in the world to answer your questions and talk about how we can help. And if your neighbors couldn't make it, because we know a lot of people lost not only their homes, but their cars, and if they're not on virtually, tell them that we're here to help, and they can call 24 hours. We have Senate, Ashley, Urban League. People are going to talk about resources to help you just get to tomorrow. I know we're talking about this wrongful death lawsuit, and that's going to take, months, if not years, but we're talking about people just trying to make it to the next day, just trying to survive. That's what we have to do first. That's the urgent question. How do I make it to tomorrow? How do me and my children get food on the table, have a roof over our head, be able to get to school? Those are the things we're here to do for the community, and make sure that people don't forget about this community, because they're concentrating on other communities. All the communities need the same level of concentration. And so it's Altadena strong. It's Altadena strong. Altadena strong.
Altadena strong. Altadena strong. Altadena strong. Altadena strong. Altadena strong. Altadena strong.
Thank you. Last question?
Sir, can you describe some of the evidence that you have that in fact
I have Attorney DeGonia repeat it. We talked about it earlier, but we're allowed to be repeated.
Okay, thank you. As we discussed earlier, there are some preliminary investigations, some preliminary statements, ring door cameras that we have from concerned citizens. We know that the Whisker Labs internally, their internal monitoring system, flagged over 50 times for this area alone. That should have flagged Southern California Edison to turn off the power grid, and they failed to. We have the most common sense red light warning that was given on January 3rd. Our client died January 7th. So we're still, like we had stated earlier, in the preliminary stages of investigation. We plan on gathering, and we have information that there's much more evidence out there. But for the time being, we have several different photos, videos, internal knowledge of what went on those 4 days leading up to her death. Thank you for the question.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry, one.
Yes, ma'am.
And is all that public record, like, can we, like, do you guys need to get a warrant to access that stuff, or is that something the media can also access, of all those different warnings and, between January and
It's contained in our complaint that we filed a few hours ago.
And you can go to press@bencrump.com and get a copy of the complaint. It articulates and enumerates all our theories of negligence and liability. Again, I want to reiterate, they should have turned off the power. As lawyers, we can, say things a million different ways, make it very complicated. But for the community, just know your houses could have been saved. Your sister could have been saved if, when they got the warning on January 3rd, they de-energized the power. When the transformer blew up and everybody saw the fire on the hill, and they decided to turn off the power then, it's too late. It's too late for Evelyn McClendon. It's too late for all of the neighbors of Attorney Camila Moore family here in Altadena. And that's the negligence. It was foreseeable. It was foreseeable. And why they didn't turn off that power, God only knows. God only knows. We thank you. We will continue to keep you updated. Now we're going to have a town hall meeting and discussion with the community. Thank you to the media for covering this important matter. Thank you for covering Altadena.